Hello, the WEBTOON community. I'm happy to see you today in this new video dedicated to the storyboard. Why storyboard is so important? First of all, on my side, it's a link between many things. This is the way to transform the story to something visual that you can share to the people reading the story. How to create now a great storyboard? It's what I will share with you today in this video. First of all, you don't start from scratch. So, you need to find some inspiration to have all the elements to start your storyboard. Then, you have to divide it. How to start from a scene to something that is well understanding and that gives all the elements to the action. And at the end, how to compose this storyboard in the WEBTOON board that you have to provide to continue the process. So, let's start if you're ready. We will have to illustrate this little part of the story. So here we have a character that will be in front of a burning capital, and then he will launch an invocation and will destroy all the enemies with a big ball of flames of energy. And so, as we need to create this story, this part, we need to find the good inspiration. So, first of all, I already use Figma, as usual, and I will collect different inspiration elements. So you see here for the fire, for example, because I really need to have a clear idea of what it will looks like for the rendering. So you see there's also some monsters attack that is here. I have also made some preparation for the fireball and also for the lighting in the eye, so looking with many elements around to help. I also prepared some character reference for the person that will be in the scene. So here is Julius. I have already some panels, but also a character sheet, and it will be the start to prepare the story from this page. Now we will start by drawing the first elements from the little script that I read just before. So at the beginning we have Julius, the main character, that is in front of a cathedral with flames. So I will draw it really roughly. Then if I take the next sequence, I told that there is some monsters that will come in front of him. So I imagine that it can be the one, and the monsters are coming all around. So you see I create a little perspective with Julius in front and the monsters at the background, but at this time it's really not important to define the shape of the panel. It's really more to imagine what elements need to be present in this part. So after the monsters attack, there is the time where Julius will make the summoning. So he has to have the book in front of him, and so he will prepare, so he has a pencil to make it. And so the book is really important. And as you see, I tried to change the point of view, because at the first one Julius was the first element before the monsters, and then it's the book. So I switch the positioning, and then I will finish by the fire appearing, so the big bubble that is coming out for the last effect. And then, so I need some more place in the page, but I need to complete this with the launching of the fire. So again, I will switch the positioning of the mantle camera, and we go back at the back of Julius, And so we can see like this the throwing of the fireball. So we see the effects of the fire in front. So it will be a huge explosion. So with that, you see we have the key elements of the story, the key panels of the story. It's not only the 5 ones that we will have to create the storyboard, but we have to see these main elements of the story. It's a big part for the start. So now that I have it, I will export all the image separately, and I will think now of the dimensioning. So I just copy and paste my visual directly inside Figma. And you will see that Figma again is really quick to prepare the storyboard and to compose your scene. Now we will put all the different elements inside the main board in Figma. So as you see, I created previously a board about 10,000 for the size, and I just throw the different images that we made previously in Clip Studio or any visual software, and I put them. So at this time, no need to think about the borders. We just have to put all the visuals one after one. And it's important because now we can have a first overview of the rendering of our story. But to see it more clearly, we see that with Figma, we can just have a sample of the view like we can have in the smartphone. In a previous video, I showed you that you can use also Figma with mirroring, so you can see directly on your smartphone the rendering of the WEBTOON. And it's really important because here we see that the scene is really quick from the summoning, and in a WEBTOON we have to divide the action. And for this part, I really want to reinforce the feeling that the summoning is important. And so to make it, we will prepare some extra panels, some extra images, and I think we can do two. The first one should be to reinforce the feeling that our character is preparing the attack. And so it's a really important time because we can have the feeling of what he's thinking. And the second one I want to draw here, it's also more a close-up on the end and with the character that is using the feather to prepare the summoning. And you will see it's really important to have it because it will create an extra time on the WEBTOON. So I prepare the drawing. As usual, it's not really important at this time to have the right positioning because we can do it right after in Figma. I will use now the crop action inside the image from Figma. So doing like this, I can prepare some panels that are limited and also add the borders that you can see with the stroke. I can take something like 4, for example, and I will do the same for the next image. As it's really made to be some inserted image, I don't want them to be full screen. So I will scale it to have it a little more little. So you see I can do also the translation, but I can do it some smaller because I don't want it to have a full screen for the reader. And it's important to have varieties of image and of shapes and of scales because it makes more surprise for the reader, and we have to create these effects. And some panels must be more important than the other ones. I want in this image to have more power for the final fire and maybe for the summoning. I want also that it's important for the monster's appearance, but I have to create some hierarchy between the different images. When we are reading a webtoon, we are following a line. And this line will depend on the elements that we provide inside the board. And to help this line, that is the direction of the eyes, we can add some transition elements. For example, these particles. It comes from the fire of the character, and it will help take the direction to the next panel with the monsters. All these elements are important for the readability. It's as important as the distance between the panels because it creates the time for the action. And you always need to check directly the result like this of your webtoon directly on a smartphone. The dialogues are an important part of the storyboard conception, and all the elements that we will put inside must follow the rule that I told about the reading line. And that's why we'll create two things. The first one is about the bubbles and also the onomatopoeias for the sounds. In Figma, we can create directly our own bubbles. So we will go on it more in another video because we can have something really powerful with Figma thanks to the libraries. But really quickly here we can create our own bubble. And to make it, I just use some simple shapes, a round circle and also a triangle. I use a union to have it merged together, and you see I can change the positioning, but also I can change all the size of the bubble. So inside the bubble I can create a text area like this, and I can change the color of the text and also the typography. I can also manage the centering of my text, the size, and when all it's done, I can just copy the text of the dialogues, of each dialogue, and I can put it and paste inside the bubble. So like this I can center, remove all the elements that are not necessary, and then I make a big group with all of this, and like this I can copy this bubble for the next. And you see I can scale it very easily, and all the text is divided inside the area. So I just need now to duplicate it. Now I will put it inside the board, and you see it's really easy to scale it, to change the size. And when I put it inside the board, so I can manage the positioning, and I can also change the direction. You see, just by clicking inside the layer. I can just throw with Shift to make a copy of the bubble, and then I can edit it. And I can do like this for all the bubble of my image. Let's complete now the work with the onomatopoeias. So it's also an element that is important because it will drive the reader through the navigation, the eye line. And so to make it, I will start by using a typography I already created. And now the important thing is to position it in the right direction and to make some curves that will go through the direction of the reading line. So I can take some example already to create this, and in Figma I will separate each letter to make it. So I will create one whoosh for the fire, and so you see I change the size, the direction of the letters, so it's very easy to create one. And what is important is that now we only use the black color, but after we can add some special effect directly in Figma. We will see it in another video. But I can prepare the whoosh like this, and after we will be able to put it inside the board. We have made it for the first direction, but we will have another whoosh that will come at the bottom when the fire is revealed, and then this time I will use something more in the vertical way to create the dynamism and also to have the same direction than the fire and the end. So you see, it's really focused like this. I don't make it by mistake, but it's really the direction I want. So the eye will go through the whoosh, and we come from the bubble at the top, you see, and then we go at the bottom where there is the character that is throwing the fire. So it's really a big help to use it like this. Now that I have all my elements inside the bands for the storyboard, so I can make more separation and manage it to have it more mastered for the timing, as I said previously, so I can manage the different spaces. If we are working with other people, we can also add some details around the images, like the name of the characters and some specific descriptions. But like this, we can just update now the pictures and we will have the final rendering. Alright, I hope you love this new video. There's many tips about creating a storyboard, as you see, but it's really an important part of the creation. Don't miss it, because you may lose many things about the dynamics, about the way you want to tell the story, and it's really a professional way to work. So, if you love this video, as usually, don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget also to put some commentaries about this video and what you want to have for the future, because I'd like to share many tips with you if you like it. So, I just say you bye bye and see you next time.